For optimizing DTP projects, localization projects, I recommend that people, first of all, start off with the correct file format for the type of document you're working on. And so typically that means with technical documents, that's FrameMaker, smaller brochures and marketing materials that are graphic heavy, use InDesign. And then I would only suggest using Illustrator and Photoshop for illustrations and photos. And when it comes to graphics, to not have text in the graphics because that takes longer to extract, locate, translate and put back together. So it's an added cost and an added amount of time and effort. When we get requests to localize a CAD file, I usually recommend off the bat that they don't localize the CAD file. What they usually want to do instead is localize a two-dimensional graphic version of it that they can insert into their documentation. So typically out of CAD you can make a PDF, and with the PDF we can edit it in Adobe Illustrator, pull the text out, replace it with localized text. And so that's my recommendation for using localizing CAD files. First of all, assess the risks up front. Look at the document and try to do some source optimization. If there are, for example, hard returns in the middle of sentences, that's going to really affect the quality, both in translation and formatting later, because any kind of breaks in the document or in these paragraphs are going to shift when the text gets translated. And so then we have to compensate for that after the text has been replaced. So source optimization, we do a pretty lengthy and in-depth formatting step after the document's been translated. We have multiple quality checks after that, like a format QA step and then a regression of that quality, that implementation. Optimizing the source English for the target languages, basically. Having cleaned up content, removing all those breaks, not using page breaks when you don't need to. Use keep with next, for example, as a function of FrameMaker and InDesign that you can use to make sure that your headings are staying with their bodies and stuff like that, rather than putting a page break in, because that page break will just appear in a random middle of a document somewhere later on. Using style sheets to make sure that everything is consistent across the document. That also helps when you're replacing fonts, for example, in the target languages. If you have to replace a font in a style sheet, it'll just upload or update across the document, and you don't have to go find all the places where the fonts need to be changed. Using fonts that are already suitable for your target languages. One of the common ones that we recommend is Myriad Pro, because that ships with Adobe products already. And it's already ready to be used for all of your Western European, Eastern European Cyrillic languages, and so it's pretty much suitable for everything almost except for your Asian languages. So.